My name is Jeremy Volo, and I had the privilege of pastoring Grace Community Church of Laredo for 4.5 years before coming out here to study at the Master's Seminary in Los Angeles. A little bit about Laredo. It's a unique city, it's a border town, so it's right on the border of Mexico, which means if you're an American and you go down to Laredo, you're gonna look around and say, wow, this is Mexico. But if you're Mexican and you come up to Laredo, you look around and say, this is America, because it's a little bit of both cultures mixed together. And that creates a unique opportunity for ministry. Laredo has gospel preaching churches there, but very few. And not enough for the amount of people there. Over 300,000 people live in Laredo. And what makes it very unique is right across the border, 600,000 people in Nuevo Laredo in Mexico. And so you've got around 900,000 souls in this little area and very few gospel churches. Grace Community Church has planted a church in Nuevo Laredo. So we have open doors to Mexico for ministry there, where in Nuevo Laredo there's very few, if any, gospel preaching churches. And so it creates this incredible hub for missionary work, where you can come to Laredo, which is an American city, and from there have immediate access into Mexico to an unreached city, such as Nuevo Laredo. Laredo itself has this interesting makeup of Spanish speakers and English speakers, and the church, Grace Church, is located right in the middle. So dividing Laredo is North Laredo and South Laredo, and the church is right in the heart. And so it can reach into both communities and proclaim the gospel. So it's a very beautiful open door for gospel ministry in a relatively unreached city, such as Laredo, Texas. It creates opportunities for missionary support, unlike almost any other in the States. Typically, churches that want to support missions go overseas. You rarely see your missionaries. Sometimes you don't even know them personally. You just know they're in a place that has need. What makes Laredo so unique is it's here in the States, and yet it's a missionary hub right into Mexico and Laredo itself. And so as a church, you can support missionaries in Laredo, go down and visit them very easily, no passports needed, no big trips needed to plan. And so it creates this remarkable opportunity for mission work here in the United States. When I left Grace Church in Laredo to come to the Master's Seminary, my one desire is that there would be men there who would take up the mantle and preach the gospel and pastor the folks in Laredo.
A few years ago, a friend of mine, Kevin, was getting ready to become a missionary to Egypt. Now, in my curiosity, I asked him, why did you choose Egypt? And he said, Daniel, I wanted to know where the greatest need was. And I was told it was Egypt. Now, that last part of the conversation has been in my heart for the past few years. My name is Daniel Alfaro, and I am a Mexican citizen who was brought providentially to South Texas, where the Lord would save me at the age of 17. Now, having a desire to be a pastor and to love and shepherd God's people, I went to the Master's Seminary to be trained, not knowing where the Lord will have me go after. During seminary, the Lord has given me a beautiful wife, Allie, and 2 beautiful children, Zuri and Timothy, and a third on the way. And now we're getting ready to go where the Lord has put into our hearts. Now, 2 years ago, a good friend of mine, Jonathan Tucker, pastor at the church where I came from in Laredo, Texas, reached out to me and said, Daniel, when are you graduating and what are you planning to do afterwards? He said that there was a lot of work to be done at the border in Laredo, and he asked me to come alongside him and help him. Now, Laredo, Texas is the place where I grew up. Texas is the place where I got saved. This is the place where I learned to love God and to love people, especially the local church. This place was hard to leave behind when I left to come to seminary. I just wish I could just have brought them with me to California. Now, as I prayerfully considered where the Lord will have us go next, like a compass that points to the north, my heart just goes in the direction of South Texas. I know the language, I know the weather, the culture, and many of the people there. It is like the vision that Paul had in Acts 16:9, except this time it was a man from Laredo appealing to me and saying, come over to Laredo and help us. Likewise, I concluded that God had called us to proclaim the gospel to them in Laredo, Texas. Now, this area is unlike the rest of the US. It is like being in Mexico, but it is not Mexico. Most people there speak Spanish, some of them speak English. Most churches there are charismatic, Jehovah's Witnesses, Roman Catholics, and Mormons. My desire is to preach the true gospel to the people so that there is heart transformation and salvation of souls. Now, God willing, we're planning to go there sometime in September this year, after we welcome our new baby to this world. But we will need a support team, a team that prays for us so that we can be used by God in an effective way. That He protect us from temptation and sin so that we're not disqualified, but we will also need financial help. Now, you can be part of this ministry. Will you please prayerfully consider supporting us with any amount God puts in your heart? As we obey the Lord in going down there, would you please be involved in God's work by helping support our family? Thank you so much for your time and for your prayers. May the Lord bless you.